I'm Ryan,
I'm Julie.
and this is the stories we leave you. All right, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Let's talk about you this time. I talked enough the last 2 episodes.
Okay.
All right, in a nutshell, childhood, go.
Well, my mom was 17 when I was born. My dad was 20. They met.
Which means she was probably, like 16 at least when they were doing it.
Ew.
That's so illegal.
Why do you have to say that?
I'm just saying, when you were born, she was 17, but realistically...
That's not how I was created. Other people in the world, perhaps. Me, no. They just
had a
one
glance.
time. Yeah.
Bam, pregnant.
Gross.
Little baby Jesus.
Anyhow. Yes, so they were very young. They met in high school and were dating. My mom was from a very religious family, specifically my grandma, super religious, like always went to church. The kind of religious where you don't teach your kids about pregnancy or how babies are made.
You just ignore it.
Yeah,
Or pretend
you
it's not
just
there.
think if we don't talk about it, if they don't know about it, then they won't do it, which obviously is not true. And yeah, so super religious. My dad was adopted by my grandparents. And I mean, they were religious too. Like they went to church, but not on the same scale as my grandma, that's for sure. Anyway, so they met, they dated for a while. Yeah, so my mom gets pregnant. And of course, my grandma being very religious and it being the 1980s, it was still common for if you're pregnant, you need to get married. And so I don't know that it was even a question. It was just like, okay, you guys are getting married. And
Was an abortion even an option?
God, no. My grandma was so...
Not an option in terms of actually getting one, but did your mom ever think about it? Did you ever ask her?
I did not ask her, but at that point, it like how... I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that would have
I would
been...
just be curious if her brain was, shit, I need to fix this, or just accepting that she was pregnant and going to have a kid because of where she grew up.
I don't think she would have wanted to.
Have an abortion?
Yeah. Not that maybe that didn't cross her mind, but
Yeah.
I think just based on knowing my mom, it was probably like, I don't think that's a...
Fuck, I have to have a baby now.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way she would have gone. But yeah, so anyway, they got married. In the wedding pictures, I don't think you can even tell my mom's pregnant. So
How soon did they get married?
I don't know. Within 9 months.
Did your dad even formally propose, or it was like,
No clue.
okay, you guys have to get married?
No idea.
You should write all this down and ask her one day.
Well, she'll listen to this podcast. Mom, if you're listening, please respond with your answers. Yeah, so they got married, had me, and, that's just what it was. And I don't know, my mom said that I used to watch wrestling with my dad. Apparently that was a thing when I was little. But I have 2 brothers. My middle brother, Justin, we're 3 years apart. And my other brother is 3 years apart from Justin. Jeremy is the youngest. And yeah, it was always the 3 of us growing up. So my mom was 17, 21, 24 when she had her kids. So she was done early in her prime, full into mothering.
I couldn't even imagine having a child at 24.
No, it's
let alone
insane.
being done having 3.
Yeah, because we didn't have our first kid, so we were 30,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I remember thinking when I was a teenager, I was like, I can't even imagine being a mom right now.
I mean, looking back, I'm still not ready to be a parent, but
Yeah.
having kids right at the cutoff, right before we turned 30, it was, well, were you already 30? You were already 30.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I feel old, but I still feel really young. I don't know. It was just all right, this is an okay time.
Yeah.
But in my 20s, fuck no.
Yeah. I remember watching Teen Mom. And I was like, oh my God, that was my mom. She was that age.
Well, just knowing the way that I acted in my early
Mhm.
20s
Yeah.
was not only dangerous to myself, but also like that. I mean, not to say that behavior would have continued if I had had a child, but
Yeah.
still, it's like, how is anyone responsible enough? Like, kudos to
Yeah.
those who do it, but mm-mm.
Yeah.
Physically, sure, you can have a baby, but like
Yeah.
mentally, like I said, like I'm 41 now, and I feel like I may just be getting into the
Yeah.
mindset of adulthood.
I feel like if you choose to have a child at that age, it obviously makes you grow up faster, changes. I mean, depending on the person, like some people fight it, but
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, my mom didn't really get to have a normal childhood. She didn't finish school. She did at some point get her GED, but she didn't finish school, didn't go to college then. She just jumped into life and being a mom.
Yeah, shouldn't
Yeah.
really have much of a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I grew up we lived in a rural part of Missouri, went to school in a small town, very small. I think my graduating class was like 130 something, 140 something. So, not necessarily as small as like literally everybody knows each other, but I mean, everybody pretty much knows each other. But I think we looked it up the other day and the population now is like 3,000. But I
It's
think
crazy.
that's just the people who live like in town. Like we were probably 15 minutes from town. So I don't think
And
we were considered part of that.
are you talking about Buffalo
Hmm.
being from town?
Buffalo was the town, Buffalo town,
Okay,
Buffalo
Buffalo,
town.
town of Buffalo.
But we lived, I think we were considered like Elkland, which is like tiny. Yeah. So we grew up on my grandpa's property. So my dad's parents, they had a house, had 40 acres. My grandpa
Jealous.
had a huge garden. We pretty much always had like cows. I think at one point they had pigs. I don't really remember that. I think it might have been before my time, but
So were you always like outside playing?
yeah, so my parents would, like, literally make me go outside
Yeah,
and lock
lock
the
the
door,
doors.
and we had to stay outside pretty much all day. So we went which looking like, now being a millennial parent, there's no way I would have just locked my kids out of the house because
No, they'd be gone,
we had 40
stolen.
acres to explore. We didn't stay on our 40 acres either. We crossed the fence onto our neighbor's property, and we'd explore some of theirs too.
Weren't you like afraid of being like shot by hunters?
No.
You
I was a
couldn't.
kid, I didn't know the difference.
I'm just saying, like, did people hunt on the land?
Yeah, not our land, but I'm sure the neighbors did. But, I mean, my grandpa and I think my dad might have hunted a little, but my grandpa would go hunting.
Hashtag I survived the 80s and
Yeah.
90s.
But, I mean, we had a pond on our property. We went out, we'd play in the creek, we'd play around the pond.
Drowning.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really, like, get in the pond because it was disgusting.
Ooh, did the cows go in it and stuff?
Yes. But
Gross.
it was also just, like, when you stepped in it, that, like, real wet, muddy in
I
your
know
feet
enough from doing
sink.
like the Tough Mudder grossness,
Yeah,
and there weren't even cows in that.
I was too scared. I was afraid something was hiding in that mud that was gonna get me, probably snapping turtles or something. But, yeah, we'd go spend, like, hours in the woods and
I mean, same, but I was in suburbia.
yeah.
We were doing a lot of the same stuff.
You had a little patch, little patch of trees. We had 40 acres worth of trees.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was most of my childhood. My dad eventually owned his own business. He had a four-wheeler shop where he worked on people's motorcycles and four-wheelers. And so we always had like we rode four-wheelers all the time as kids. And
What'd your mom do? I
so
don't know if I know that.
my mom did a few different things. She at one point was like a nurse's assistant, I think, or something like that. She did go back to college, or did go to college after she got her GED, I guess, and I don't know what exactly.
Where'd you go to college?
I think it was just like community college. I don't even remember like what it was actually for, but
I mean, I remember when she got her associates. We had
yeah,
just
like
met.
I think she had to get the GED before she could do the nursing assistant. But she did that for a little while, and then she did, I think after that, she started driving a bus. And she did the bus while she was also helping run my dad's business. So, like, she'd go drive in the morning, work at the business all day, drive in the afternoons.
Was this after your brothers were born?
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, my dad did other things too before he got to that point. But
Got to what point?
Of owning the bike shop.
Oh. Oh, I thought we were
Dun,
segueing.
dun, dun. I guess we are now.
Foreshadow.
Foreshadowing. So, yeah, so that was pretty much
We're not there yet.
no, we're not there yet. I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, my grandma was religious. We used to go over to my grandma's a lot. Like, my mom would take us in the summer and drop us off. We'd stay there for a week, 2 weeks. Went to Bible camp, vacation Bible school, I should say, and went to church camp.
I did not do that.
No church camps for you?
No church
No,
camps.
because you're Jewish. So anyway, we'd always go to like vacation Bible school, church camp. We were kind of like, let's say like holiday Jews.
Oh,
Like,
I was a holiday Jew.
yeah, that's kind of how we were. Like my grandparents went every week. Like that was their thing. Even on like I think they went Wednesdays too. So
I remember Wednesdays being a big day
Mhm.
for Christian people.
yeah, but like my family, like me, my dad did not go. I don't know if I ever saw my dad go to church, but unless maybe it was a time that him and my mom fought and he was sucking up. Maybe he went, but even then, I don't remember. We would go to my grandma's church for the holidays. And yeah, so it was either like when we were visiting or just holidays and stuff. But my parents were not really religious. They didn't go to church. Yeah. And so that was pretty much my upbringing, except for, all the trauma that I didn't mention yet. Should we get into it?
Yeah, I need to get a soda though. Okay. Anyways,
All right. So, trauma, where do I even start?
good, bad, the ugly.
Well,
I don't know if there's anything good about trauma.
no, not
All right.
really.
So when was it that you? Because like for me growing up, there was kind of like a turning point at which I realized like, okay, like something's off in the family. My parents started fighting a lot, and it was like, all right, what was going on? So like for you, here's little Julie, happy as can be, with her 2 baby brothers playing outside in the cow dew,
Gross.
playing outside in
We
the
might have played with cow patties. Go on.
playing outside in your 40 acres,
Mhm.
whatnot. Like, when did you ever first get that sense that it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe my dad's not such a great person, or my parents don't seem happy,
Yeah.
or was there a turning point, or was it, wow, was there a turning point, or was it like a slow boil?
I don't think there was a turning point because I think that's just how it always was. Like, they always fought. Dad always got mad. We always had to tiptoe around dad. Don't do anything to piss him off. Oh, dad's gone. Thank God. What a relief.
So that was your norm.
We can relax. Yes. So like I remember when I don't remember how old I was. Probably elementary school. He was gone. I don't know where he was. I don't know if he was like driving a truck at the time or what he was doing, but I just remember he was out of town like at least for the weekend. And it was a big deal because like my dad was gone, so we could like have fun. So I got to like sleep in my mom's bed. We laid in bed and like we might have even watched a movie. We got to make chocolate because my dad didn't really like chocolate things, so we didn't have brownies or chocolate cake because dad didn't like chocolate. So like him being gone was like, okay, good, we can do our own thing. And everyone was just way more relaxed. That's probably the earliest memory I remember thinking, like, I guess realizing
Mhm.
how different it was when he was gone versus when he was there. No, it was just always a thing. Like, everything was kind of catered to dad, meaning, like, if he didn't like something to eat, we didn't do it. If he didn't like something, I mean, everything. If he didn't like the show, we didn't watch it. If he didn't want to do this, we didn't do it. And yeah, it was just all about him and what he wanted. And I don't remember, I'm trying to think back if I can remember like their earliest fight. Like, there's obviously fights that stick out in my head
Mhm.
because they were probably worse than the norm. Like, I remember him getting mad at my middle brother one time, and our house was a spanking house. My mom spanked us. They used like paint paddles, maybe belts. But I remember this time my dad, I don't remember why he was mad, but he was so pissed off at my brother and he grabbed like a yardstick and started like whacking him. And like he broke it. And he didn't stop when it broke. He like kept going because that's my dad used to get so mad that it would just boil. And like once he was going, there wasn't going to be any stopping.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like now thinking about our kids. Oh my God, if I got mad and smacked their butt, I would feel so freaking bad about it. I can't imagine hitting my kid over and over and over again with an object, nonetheless.
I mean, I've had moments where I'm like, I would love to just smack the shit out of you right now, but I wouldn't do it,
No.
let alone grab an object and do it.
Yeah. And my mom wasn't like that.
And it would be like a one and done thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's more how my mom was. It was like, okay, you did something, you have to be punished. Spank, spank. We go on about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But dad, it was like, no,
It's jail worthy.
yeah, I agree.
Like, what did your mom do when that was happening?
I think a lot of times she would try to, like, I don't really remember because obviously, like, that's where my vision goes. But I think I do remember her, like,
What were you thinking?
she tried to say his name, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's good. Like, but also she was scared of him. So
What were your thoughts? I mean, how old were you?
when that happened, I don't know, maybe a preteen or a teen. I honestly don't remember. I mean, I was terrified. I was scared. I was scared because you never knew like what he was gonna do, what was gonna happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I felt horrible for my brother. Like, I didn't want him treating my brother like that. Like, I remember one particular fight. Again, don't even know what he was mad about. He was mad at my mom about something. And I remember me and my brothers sitting, I think we were on the couch, and my dad was just going crazy. He was going around the house, like breaking things. And he was in our entryway and he had my mom's purse and he was just like whacking it on the ground over and over again. And like, I'm crying. My brothers are crying. I'm trying to like hold them. I think we might have ended up going to my room at some point, and like the three of us just stayed in my room.
Mm-hmm.
So with my mom, it wasn't like one of those abusive relationships where he was like physically punching her. Not that he didn't. His big thing was shoving. He would shove her. He would throw things at her. I'm trying to think. He might have kicked her, but I don't remember him like punching or slapping or things like that. So I mean, definitely still abusive, but not. Maybe it's like, oh, if I don't use my hands, I'm not being abusive. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, his big thing was like he loved throwing things and breaking things. He was always abusive with his words. Loved calling people names.
Mm.
So yeah, so with my mom, like he was physical, but he didn't like punch her in the face and leave bruises. Not that kind of.
Oh, you're like reading my mind. I'm like, no visual evidence.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she probably did have bruises because he threw things at her and stuff like that, and shoved her. Like she fell plenty of times, which is just anything to, I don't know, just insert your power.
Break her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, of course that had to be like, especially as a fucking adult, falling.
Falling sucks.
Yeah, falling down as an adult is
Terrible.
embarrassing. And I feel like shoving her was just his way of, yeah, it's humiliating, but also like, I need to make sure I'm the boss. I'm the one that's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't really touch me. I know he probably abused my middle brother, but he worked with him. So we had a garage, which we called the shop. And that's where my dad like worked on a lot of stuff, four-wheelers, cars, whatever. And he made my brother work out there with him a lot. So unfortunately, I don't know like what happened when they were out there, but I know.
Well, if he was like that in front of everybody, I can't imagine what it was like.
Well, and I feel like because I was his daughter, he probably handled things differently with me. But it was more like, one time I mouthed off and he like smacked me upside the head and the other side of my head hit the fridge. But that was all that he did. Like it didn't go any further than that. And I remember overhearing him talking to my mom in the living room because I wouldn't clean my room. I was probably a preteen. And he said I was a lazy bitch. And I remember just being like, my own parent just called me a lazy bitch. Hopefully, it hasn't affected me today. I'm not worried about being called lazy, I don't think.
I was gonna
Or
say,
a bitch.
you have resting bitch face sometimes,
I
but I
do.
don't
I can
think
own that.
I don't think you're lazy at all.
That's good. Thanks.
And if you are being lazy, you have a right to be. But I know your brain's not lazy.
No, not at all. My brain won't shut up most of the time.
No.
But I don't remember there being a whole lot with us as kids. My youngest brother peed the bed until my mom left my dad. Once she moved out, he stopped peeing the bed.
Was that middle school for him?
So I was 18.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
6 years older, so he was
So middle school.
like a preteen. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's crazy because I had accidents way, way longer than I should have, but I didn't have that particular trauma going on
Yeah.
in
And
my
I
house.
mean, yeah, I mean, obviously there's no like proof that that's necessarily what it was, but
I'm sure it didn't help.
kind of coinky dinky that it
Right.
stopped right around that time. But I mean, also he was about to be a teenager, so maybe that helped too. But yeah, I remember it would be, my mom was really scared to leave. She had 3 kids she had to take care of. And my dad wasn't the kind of guy that was just like, okay, we'll get out of here. Bye. It was like, no, he's controlling, he's abusive. So it was really scary. So I remember one time, so he would tell her to get out. He went in one time and I remember him taking all of her clothes and throwing them out the door. But then if she actually tried to leave, he, like, did something to the car because, mind you, he worked on four-wheelers and cars, and so he did something to where she couldn't leave.
All while his parents were living just down the driveway
Yes.
in that house.
Yes.
Did they know about it?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Did your other grandparents know about it?
No, I don't think so. Not until years later.
Really?
Mhm.
Because that sucks.
Yeah.
Because if they had known, do you think they would have been like, okay, bring the kids over here, come live with us? Or would it be that kind of Lifetime movie where it's like, oh, he's doing it because he loves you, or he's always been that way? Like, what do you think his parents' reactions would have been versus your mom's parents? Because from what you've told me, I feel like, oddly enough, your dad's parents seem like much cooler grandparents in a way that it was like, I don't know, go outside, have fun, like enjoy life. And your mom's parents were like, God, homeopathic things.
No, okay, so when I did go over to my mom's parents, my aunt was also so my mom's youngest sibling was only 4 years older than me, and so we actually kinda grew up like sisters, like, we were pretty close growing up. My grandma would drop us off at the pool, so we'd go to the pool by ourselves. We were always outside playing in the backyard. They had a big backyard and chickens and all that, so we'd play out there or wander around the neighborhood. I mean, they were fine. I enjoyed going over there. I enjoyed spending time with them. So they weren't like when it came to other things later down the road,
Mhm.
yes, of course, like my grandma, but you can say but. It was a curse word
Mm.
to her. So things like that. And I remember it was like, "Oh, you can't watch Disney movies because Disney, like, celebrated Pride Month or something one time, so, like, that's off limits now," and, things like that, and I got my love of, like, musical theater from watching musicals
Mhm.
at my grandma's and stuff like that. So, they weren't, like, bad people.
Happy memories then.
Yeah, the religion comes into play later in life, I would say more. My dad's parents, my granny was I mean, I loved her, like, I thought she was great. She apparently I've heard from, like, my mother and things like that, like, she wasn't always, like, the nicest person, but that was kinda like a daughter-mother-in-law relationship, so I was a kid, I didn't
Mhm.
know the difference. My grandpa was basically, like, the sweetest man I ever knew, and he was just so gentle. Like, one time he was going to spank me, and he, like, went as far as undoing his belt, but I don't think he could spank his little girl. Like,
Mhm.
he was really excited to show me, like, a deer that he shot one time, and I cried. I think he, like, felt horrible after that. So, yeah, like, I loved my grandpa, he was great. I don't know if any of them really knew what was going on. And if they did know something, I feel like it was kind of, you mind your own business.
Yeah, it's his
Yeah.
family. It's
And even like my dad's sister, she, she was one of my favorite people in the world too. And I spent as much time with her as I could growing up. And so, like, she would come home. She lived in Springfield for a while. Eventually, she moved to New York, so we didn't get to see her as much. But I remember she would be there, and like, he did things to her too. Like, I remember like some of the stories from childhood. Like, he wasn't always nice to her. And I remember one particular, it was 4th of July. She was visiting, she had her dog with her, and he like threw a firework. He was throwing fireworks at people. Like, I think he threw something towards us and we were jumping around. He threw something at her dog and she said something about it. Well, then he got pissed and threw it at her because you can't say anything to him about being wrong or doing something you don't like because then it pisses him off. And I remember she left and she didn't come visit for a couple of weeks.
that's a boundary if I've ever seen one set.
Yeah. And I was just like so upset about it. But even with those kinds of things, I don't know if she knew everything that happened in our house. Because it's like, of course, he doesn't go that full extent when other people are around. It's you wait until everyone's alone
Mm-hmm.
and you take it out on the people who you're supposed to love the most.
Right.
And then they don't know your secrets, the rest of the world. Because everyone else who met my dad, when you met my dad, he seemed like this funny, charming guy.
Don't bring that up.
I mean, it's true. That's what other
It's
people thought too.
1,000% true.
Yeah.
1,000%. Your dad was. I did not understand the things that you were telling me about him and how they like were true.
Yeah.
Not to say like, oh, you're lying about him, but yeah, he was stupid funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like the epitome of dad jokes
Yeah.
and whatever, but like lighthearted, seemed like he like just wanted to have a good time. And,
Mhm.
it was always kind of like, oh, what does he think about me? Because at the time you were in a lesbian relationship
Mhm.
and, he joked around about calling me your boyfriend and whatever, like jokes on you. But yeah, it took a grain of sand of what you explained for him to show in
Yeah.
front of me. Well, it wasn't even in to my face. It was behind my back to you. And
Yeah, so that story was my dad came to visit when Grayson and Olivia were probably 3 or 4 years old, and he stayed with us for, what, like a week or something?
Mhm.
He was here for a little bit.
And Jeremy was living with us too.
And pretty much Ryan had made a joke. This was before Ryan had transitioned.
So I'm one of those people that I will joke, but also insert something that, I want to say as well.
It's almost like a
A
passive
defense.
aggressive, like, let me joke.
If you don't know me, yeah, it can come off as very like kind of dickhole-ish. But I was like, the toilet seat was up. And I grew up in a house where toilet seats like get put down, but also like just fucking do that. Know your audience, know who you're around. You're a guest in someone's house. So I walk in and I'm like, oh my God, the toilet seat's up. That's gross and annoying. And when I came out of the bathroom, I walked into the kitchen and I was like, for being in a house full of lesbians, you could put the seat down.
Or you're gonna have to
Or you're going to have to learn to put the seat down with being in a house with lesbians. And that was it. Nothing was immediately said back or
Yeah, he didn't
it,
say
it just, it
anything.
went on like, oh, ha, 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 yeah. And then like, I don't remember anything
Yeah.
after that.
So fast forward probably like 30 minutes later, you left to go somewhere. I don't know,
I
your
went
parents
with
or
my
something.
dad
Yeah.
to somewhere.
And obviously this had been festering because again, you can't correct my dad in any way or embarrass him or anything.
Cut to, I come home expecting the same vibe that I left it in. And I walk through the front door and I immediately know something is off. Her dad's upstairs. We have a split level. So I walk in, dad's in the kitchen. I go downstairs. Julie is aggressively folding laundry. And I was like, what is happening? When you know somebody, the vibe is off, the aura is off, everything. I was like, what is happening? And she was just completely shut down. She wouldn't even talk to me. You wouldn't talk to me. I don't know why I'm talking to the other person.
I think I was too upset at the time.
Yeah, you were on the verge of crying if you hadn't already
I
been.
probably already was.
Now, flashback. What happened while Ryan was gone?
He made some comment, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, Ryan was being a bitchy cunt." And, like, just the way he said it was so hateful and angry. Basically, he was pissed off that you had said something to him about putting the toilet seat down. And I was like, "Well, if you have that much of a problem with Ryan, then you can leave." Which my history with my
You
father,
don't tell him to leave. He tells
me
you to leave.
not even that, the fact that I was able to stand up to him
Mm-hmm.
was like,
Do you think that was more upsetting to you?
that took all of my effort, my adrenaline, everything. So,
You're like, and I'm done. I have to go. Bye.
yeah, pretty much he started getting his bags and put them all by the stairs. He didn't drive himself, by the way. He couldn't drive, I'm pretty sure at the time. There was nowhere for him to go. So he like packs all of his stuff. I go in a different room. I'm just bawling, folding laundry, doing whatever I can to just get out of the situation. I do remember I was cleaning out the dishwasher or something later and he came over and apologized and I didn't say a word. I just started bawling. I didn't even look at him. I just kept doing that. So that's an example of how the littlest things would set him off. And then obviously the impact of that trauma that had on me. I mean, I was 34 at the time, so like years later.
Watching all these documentaries now and hearing all these stories about bad people in the world, a lot of them are charming.
Mhm.
Like Ted Bundy,
Yeah.
handsome, funny, charming, killed a bunch of women.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a theme in his life from other people like, oh, yeah, it was great until he shows this side of himself that he clearly needs therapy on, which it's pretty much too late for that.
Yeah.
But I think it was almost like it's not like you primed me, but you primed me because it was like, don't fall for it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, maybe that was a thing that was in his past or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he's not doing anything, I guess, in the present now. Like, I kind of followed your lead on it in terms of, okay, you want to introduce our kids to them. Like, you didn't even introduce him to me the first time I met him, well, saw him.
Mhm.
Granted, you were still married at the time, but
Yeah.
I was just a friend in your house and he came in and I remember I was like, oh, that's Julie's dad. Cause unfortunately, yes. I was like thinking, whoa, they look
Mhm.
identical. That
Yeah.
is definitely her dad. But you didn't introduce me and like I thought it was a little weird, but I like now knowing it was like, well, you don't need to know him.
Mhm.
And then
Well, it was also your family's very different than mine in that your
yeah.
family's very formal. If there's not an introduction, someone's offended. If you
Mhm.
don't say hello, even though, you see them all the time, someone's offended. My family's not like that. But yeah, another time I remember is I had come home from college and it was the first Christmas. I had come home and my parents were actually separated at this point. But my dad had talked my mom into coming over, spending Christmas, having us all there, and I remember he went off about he was getting pissed about something. I made some smart ass comment. Again, I went to my room, he came in, and that's the first time I ever thought he was going to hit me because I wasn't backing down to whatever he was saying to me, and I was like, standing my ground. And I remember he like pulled his arm back and I stood there and I'm like, if you're gonna hit me, then hit me. And of course he didn't. He left the room.
Because you're a scary ass bitch. Not
I
a lazy bitch. Scary.
well, I think it was the first time he'd been stood up to like that. Like I
Mhm.
don't think my mom stood up to him like that because I mean, she couldn't, different situation. But I guess because I like didn't live at home anymore, it was kind of like my out. I was like, you
You could
fucking hit
leave.
me, you'll never see me again. I left. I texted my ex brother in law, not at the time ex brother, now ex brother in law, but I texted him because they lived like 5 minutes away and I was like, I'm walking towards your house, come get me. And I remember I was walking down the gravel road and he pulls up and I'm getting ready to get in the truck with him. And then here come my parents in the car. And of course, I don't know if my dad apologized at that point, but my mom was like, please just come back, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if he ever did apologize to me, but I complied and came back and he didn't act like that again. But Yeah, it was just things like that. Like, he didn't directly abuse me, but he was abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Always with his words, always with using control and fear on everyone. He was abusive with my mom, and I know, like, after they divorced, he was with other women, and I'm pretty sure he was a lot more abusive with some of his other partners, more so physically than I feel like
Do you think it's because he had less to lose?
I think
He
he'd
had a wife and 3 children
I think he'd already lost his wife and his children
and a
for the most
house.
part,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
and I think with the other women, it was different.
it's
He
just
didn't
like
have that same yeah, but
so. On top of all of that, insert the drugs.
yeah,
So again, I just wanna point out that you and I getting together and having pretty much the same values and outlook on life,
yeah,
2 separate households, completely different upbringings, somewhat similar trauma, but on very different levels.
yeah,
But we luckily made it out of that relatively unscathed,
yeah,
and we're raising our children with a very different parenting style.
yeah, and I do wanna insert just about my mom real quick. Yes, she spanked us, and I do give her shit for that sometimes now.
I got spanked once that I can remember,
Yeah, I get spanked all the time. Like,
and it was embarrassing though.
I remember
Like I was
Why
like,
was it embarrassing?
because I didn't get spanked. I got empty threats,
Mm,
which is
mhm.
where my empty
Sounds
threats
about
come from.
right, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, you're like, I didn't get grounded like
Mhm,
you think typical grounding is. I just got yelled at a lot.
yeah.
But the one time I remember, I don't even know what it was for, but it was like, all right, I'm going to spank you now. And it was like just very like step by step.
Here
And
it
I remember
comes.
thinking like, this is weird. I don't
Wait, who
like,
did the spanking, your mom or your dad?
I think it was my mom. I think. I'm pretty sure because as her being a teacher, it had to be like, all right, step 1,
Mhm.
step 2, step 3. And I just remember it was like, pull down your pants. And I was like, I don't want to. And like,
Pull down your pants. I don't remember if we pulled down our pants to get spanked.
well, I guess if
Maybe
I
we
was going to
did.
get spanked, I was going to get spanked,
Yeah.
but it didn't even hurt. And it was like a one like bop thing. I don't know if it was her hand or what, but I was just like, this is not going to work in your
That's
favor. Like this is not making an
yeah.
impression except for the fact that this is really embarrassing for me.
Yeah, so I remember my mom, one time, I remember her and dad, they might have been at work, and I was supposed to do something while they were gone, like clean out the dishwasher or something, and they got back, and I remember I think this might have been the last time she spanked me. I think I was 14. She came home, and she was so mad and so frustrated. She made me go in my room, and she spanked me. I don't even remember if she used the paint stir that she usually used or what she
Mhm.
did. But I just remember I'm pretty sure we were both crying, like, but it was like, no, she would spank me, it would be like a couple of
It
swats.
was more of a bonding moment because it's like,
Sure.
I'm upset, you're
Yeah.
upset. Like, can we just not
Well,
make each other upset
and
like
then there's
this?
the time we were in the kitchen.
And she slapped you.
Yeah, because I was like I mouthed something and I knew when I said it, I was like, "She's gonna slap me." And so I just, like, braced myself. Sure enough, pop. And I was like, "Okay, back to life."
Mm.
So, yeah, so my mom slapped me, but the reason I'm bringing those up is because, yes, my mom was a spanker. She did smack me a couple of times when I mouthed off, but, like, that's how she was raised. She had kids starting at 17. She didn't have the opportunity to learn anything different. Like, she didn't know. That's all she knew.
Mhm.
So, I don't blame her for that, and I just wanna say, I think the only reason I did have a good childhood and probably gonna cry.
Probably. You're definitely crying.
I'm thankful for my mom that she wasn't because a lot of kids don't have at least one parent who is someone normal,
Mhm.
who is the stable parent, and I can't imagine being in your 20s, raising 3 kids basically by yourself, and having to also shield all of that and be the steady person for your kids,
Mhm.
and, I mean, I know that was a lot on her, so
Well, like I've said, when I first met your mom, again, all the things you would tell me about your childhood and like how your dad was with her, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That I don't get it because your mom just doesn't strike me. Yeah, your mom can shut down, obviously, whether that was because of how your dad treated her or what. But like, I can't imagine someone pushing your mom around
Yeah.
and her just like taking it.
She's definitely a different person now than she was then. Like, I remember when she finally did leave him, like, it's the silliest little thing, but like going to a restaurant and her like complaining about something on the menu or like questioning the waiter or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember thinking, like, that's not something I'd ever seen my mom do before, probably because my dad would have been like, "Shut up. Why are you being a bitch right now?" Or like, something like he would have shut her down. She was so quiet. She didn't really state her opinions a lot. And yeah, big change from now. She loves to share those opinions. Yeah, there was definitely a big change.
But she has the freedom to do it. So like
Yes.
it makes more sense.
Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to my mother because she was that like stable person my entire childhood. So if you're listening, Mom, thanks. So anyway, let's get into the drugs.
Okay. Well, I would like to say that with your dad being the way that he was with you growing up, I am also thankful for your mom because she was your stable person,
Yeah.
but I think in a way she is still your stable person
Yeah.
to a degree. But for her to come out of that and for you to come out of that the way that you both have is, especially with your mom, is
Yeah.
pretty impressive because you know, she growing, I don't want this to sound wrong or mean or offensive, but she was limited in her geographical location. There weren't as many opportunities. She was, I'm assuming, living paycheck to paycheck, things like
Mhm.
that. So to look at where she is now from where she was, I don't think
Mhm.
she gives herself enough credit
Yeah, I agree.
as to the things that she can do and more.
Yeah.
But, because sometimes your mom's reluctant to do things and maybe that's
Yeah.
how she is used to things going.
Well,
But,
and the reason I wanted to say that too is because I feel like a lot of times you hear these stories of like women being abused and like, well, why didn't they take the kids away sooner? Why didn't they leave them sooner? But when
mhm,
you're in an abusive situation like that, and yeah, she didn't, like I said, she didn't finish college. She got her GED or high school. She got her GED eventually. She didn't go to college. It's like, I have these three kids. What am I going to do? How am I going to support them? Like,
mhm.
it's scary, and that's the only thing she'd known for years.
I feel like it's so easy to be on the outside and say, "Well, why didn't you just say fuck you?
Right.
Bye. We are in a happy, non-abusive relationship." If I had to think about logistically moving
Mhm.
out of this house and leaving you,
Yeah.
quote unquote, with the kids, it's too hard. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. It's easier to stay
Mhm.
because of not if it was just me, like, yeah, like, bye.
Yeah.
But when you have kids to think about and, like, where are you gonna go? Where am I gonna get this money? And,
Yeah.
like, everything on top of dealing with what you're already dealing with.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not possible.
Well, and she also hadn't been on her own. She went straight from her
Right.
parents
Yeah.
to being married.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, she didn't even have that. So, I just want to give her a shout out for all that. But she is also the reason she got out. So now let's get into the drugs because we've only talked about half the story, really.
Mhm.
That is all for today. We will continue in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please go and follow the show, leave us a review, and find us on Instagram at The Stories We Leave You. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Could you do it a little less aggressive?
Bye.